Middlesex racked up their maximum quota of bonus points on the second day of their highly charged match with Leicestershire at Grace Road, and that will be enough to earn them promotion whatever happens elsewhere, as long as they don't lose from their very promising position at the end of the second day. Middlesex had dismissed Leicestershire for 319 on the first day, and so this one was all about their batsmen building them a big first innings lead. And after Andrew Strauss survived a strong appeal for LBW in the first over of the innings, they got off to a very positive start, with Sam Robson and Strauss both playing their shots early on. Strauss will square cut you all day if you bowl the ball there, but he of course has many other shots in his locker, as this opposition found out only a fortnight ago when the England captain took them for a double 100. In that match at Lord's, both of these batsmen scored tons and may have even still been batting together now had it not been for a blow on the head for Robson. He's long since put that behind him, and he's continuing to develop very nicely as a player. There's no doubt that he times the ball very sweetly, and he is clearly relishing the opportunity of opening the batting with Strauss, something which can only benefit the 22-year-old Australian-born player. They have already established a very solid partnership, and this opening stand of 75 in 15 overs added to the reputation. The partnership was broken after a half-hour break for rain by 21-year-old Alex Wyatt, who, in only his second championship match of the season, had something to tell everyone who will listen when he had Strauss caught behind on 32. Finally, Leicestershire had got him out. 10 minutes later, Wyatt was at it again as he produced another quality delivery to have Robson also taken behind for 46 at 84 for 2. The game now evenly poised as we went into lunch. Middlesex knew that they now needed to forge ahead, and they had the man to do that in David Malan. They would have been well aware of Surrey's progress against Derbyshire and that Northamptonshire were racing towards a thumping win over Gloucestershire. This was no time for Malan and his teammates to let their guard down. Malan certainly didn't do that as he reeled off a number of gorgeous and very well-timed cover drives. In this form, he looks a very classy player. It seems that he's been around for a while now, since making his name with 100 on his debut and a T20 ton on the telly in 2008. But he is still only 24 and so has a lot of time in the game ahead of him. He and his captain, Chris Rogers, were able to add 71 for the third wicket as they started to make real inroads into the Leicestershire total, which had been accumulated throughout the first day. Rogers was furious with himself for getting out in this manner. It was a shot totally out of character as he edged Jigger Nate behind. He was livid to be out for 31 at 155 for 3. And his mood wouldn't have been helped any when Jamie Dalrymple followed for a golden duck, bowled to a well-flighted but straight ball. Malan, though, was still there and going strong, and he got to his fourth 50 of what has been something of an up-and-down summer for him. He'd needed only 59 balls for this one, in which he'd struck 7 lovely boundaries. He and fellow left-hander John Simpson then put on the partnership which looked to be putting Middlesex into a commanding position. They knew that, with the way things were going elsewhere, a score of 400 and maximum batting bonus points would be very handy, as Northamptonshire had missed out on 2 of their batting points, even though they were already closing in on victory in their game. With Surrey also going well, neither Malan nor Simpson could rest on their laurels. These two added 104 to put their side only 56 runs behind. Malan looked nailed on for his 100, but just 3 runs short, he went after a wide ball from Wayne White to take him to 3 figures, but he edged it behind to give Ned Eckersley his 4th catch of the innings to go with his own 100 on the previous day. So Simpson's innings now became the important one. He wanted to at least be there to take his side into the lead. He reached his half-century off his 86th ball, but needed to go on from here. He didn't. He'd added only 5 more when he miscued a pull shot off Rob Taylor to be caught by James Taylor to leave Middlesex on 296 for 6. Every single bonus point was becoming more and more important for the visitors, and they earned 1 more with this boundary from Ollie Rayner, which took them to 300. The total stood at 313 when he was the 7th man out, with Middlesex still 6 runs behind. Nate got him leg before for his 3rd wicket of the innings. When Stephen Crook followed in the next over, edging Rob Taylor behind for Eckersley's 5th catch, Middlesex had probably been reduced to outsiders for promotion, given the events at the Oval and at Wantage Road. They were now only 1 run ahead and 30 away from a 4th batting point. If they didn't go on to win from here, and there was certainly no guarantee of that from this position, then they would be overhauled by both Surrey and Northamptonshire if they completed their expected wins. But, showing a lot of character, Gareth Berg and Tim Murtagh produced a fantastic and thrilling partnership which swung the pendulum back their way. This shot for 6 from Berg brought up the 350, which would have made them feel a little better, but they still needed another 50 to be far less vulnerable. Given that they started this match at the top of the pile, it's hard to say that Middlesex have missed Berg, who's been out for much of the summer with a finger injury, but he is an important cog in their machine. He followed his career best bowling performance in the last match with a very significant 50. Even more significant was that he hit his 3rd 6 to bring up the 400 just before the close. Now Middlesex cannot be caught by Northamptonshire if they manage a draw from here. Of course, that is not guaranteed yet. With Berg on 70 and Murtagh on 22, this pair will still want to add to their 9th wicket partnership of 81, which has been made in only 11 overs. They wanted the 400 before the close and they got it, just, and they'll now resume on day 3 on 401 for 8, leading by 82.